That's exactly what I want. You should buy that for me.
Really?
Yeah. I'll be your sugar baby.
I'm
Promise.
still looking for a sugar daddy,
I'll sit on the couch, eat potato chips while you work. It'll be perfect.
Yeah,
It'll be perfect.
I actually do want to be a lawyer, so maybe.
One quick thing for everybody, notice how, he's like kind of just self-amusing and fucking around, but notice how the girls are reacting to him more than he is reacting to them. It's a very, very, very key thing, right? It's not like, can I get into your world? Can I bend over backwards for everything you're saying? It's like, let me say what I think is funny, let me say what I think is cool, and just let her react to it. So it's a great example of that kind of stuff.
Oh, perfect. Look at that. I want to be a bum for the rest of my life. So I feel like we're meant for each other. This is crazy. What's your name? Nice to meet you.
A quick thing you could do kind of to help this out, because he's kind of in limbo here. Because he, on the one hand, he probably should be talking to this girl, but on the other hand, it would be a little try hard for him to jump across and do it. An introduction would massively help him and also help you by extension, because it would allow this isolation to happen better. So like this right here is really good, but situational awareness of this and this would make it even better.
You're cute, so I wanted to awkwardly flirt with you.
Especially because you can't see this, is like out of the back of your head, but like he's clearly not like sure exactly what to do.
Where are you from?
I live here in Las Vegas now.
Oh, really?
But I'm from...
Okay, where? Yeah, I go every year.
But yeah, this pace is much better. Like, not to say that this set will necessarily go better than the other one overall, but like just the pace of conversation here is much, much, much better.
Introduce me to your friend too, by the way.
What?
To introduce me to your friend, by the way.
This. Yeah, I know weird.
Hi, nice to meet you. This is my brother. Yeah, when you give me that look, that's weird. Maybe racist right now? She's really tipping.
So now, question would be, which one is your choice? Brunette one? Okay, cool. So you're in a good spot for that. Be a little bit careful, only because you just overtly brought the blonde one in, which is what you should do and introduce her. But you are, I feel like, kind of teasing her right now. So there's a decent likelihood that she's actually gonna start responding to you, and you'll have to like unselect her, so to speak.
For that bad tooth there. Yeah. I'm really trying to get that last little bit. Like, how drunk can I get for this guy? Where do you guys come?
You didn't say where. Yes.
Yes.
So you're not from.
Where are you from? I'm from.
Okay.
You know where that is?
Yeah.
No. So you're not even from?
No, I'm not from.
No.
I just go every year.
You go every year?
Yes.
You ski bum?
No. I wrestle, so we go over there to train.
Are you here for wrestling or no? Is there a wrestling tournament going on right now?
We came to watch. Yeah.
Oh, badass. You should wrestle him. Yeah, ready?
Yeah, probably not.
Let's
No.
go. No, hold on.
Yeah, no.
Wait, do an arm drag on me. Arm drag.
No.
Do it. Do it. Let's go. Whoa. Oh, take the back though. You gotta take the back.
No, I'm good.
Do you have cauliflower here?
Yeah.
Really? Can I see?
Like inside this year.
Oh my god, it's adorable. You fight too?
That's awesome. Do you have cauliflower ear? That's adorable. That might be like the best nagging context I've ever heard. That is awesome. All right, this is good. So you obviously like great little physicality, good connection. Generally looking really, really good. Yeah. I would be, if I were you in this circumstance, I'd be very, I don't know about concerned, but I'd be very, very much focused on making this go well between your wingman and the other girl, because your thing is definitely going well, but there was kind of an awkward entry in the sense that it was kind of a slow entry, and in the sense that this girl seems a little kind of not focused. So either engage her if she's disengaged, or definitely like talk him up or bring him into the, like you could even like bring him into the conversation you two are having so that the focus of everybody's on him. Make him look cool, put him on stage a little bit, and then back out. Just because it's like, I mean, technically, with like amazing game, he should be able to like turn around whatever. But if you look at like who has value in this set, right now he has some value because he hasn't done anything like wrong or anything. But you have a lot of value because you went in, you opened, you have a good vibe, you're getting a positive reaction. So you could transfer a little bit of your value kind of onto him. And it would massively help, because what's going to be the defining factor in whether this goes well, it looks like, is not going to be does she like you or not because she seems to like you. It's going to be does the friend like him, and are they willing and comfortable to hang out with you guys? And then to a certain extent, how much time do they have? But so this actually should be the bigger concern right now than this.
Todd, can you repeat the thing about the qualifier? I don't think everybody heard that. The thing that you laughed at.
Oh, what I said was cool? Oh, yeah, okay, no, it's, okay, so do you know what cauliflower ear is?
Yeah.
Okay, so, because they wrestle, right, so she has the ear is,
Right, okay.
so basically, yeah, it's like so she has the ears of a wrestler, which is like definitely not a sexy thing to say to a girl normally, but they're just talking about wrestling, so it's like, hey, wait, are you a real wrestler? Do you have cauliflower? She's like, a little bit. He's like, oh, that's so adorable. All right, such a good neg.
Are you here for wrestling?
No. Yeah, I'm here for wrestling, but I don't wrestle.
Okay, you're just a fan of wrestling.
My husband wrestles.
Okay.
He wrestled at the World.
What's that?
He wrestled at the World Championship.
Oh, really? Oh, shit. You should challenge him.
You guys are very
I
intimidating.
see this guy, like, wrestling our friends, Tom, all the time in the living room.
We usually do it without clothes
Yeah.
because you get more of
Did
like
you
a
wrestle?
more
Like,
realistic
growing
that way.
up?
Yeah.
Ish?
Well, I was born in I was living in an orphanage, so like you had to wrestle for like food every day. You know what I mean? Like it's like one piece of chicken left, and you had to fucking throw someone through a window to get it. So it was real. It was real life. It was hard. You know? But now I'm here. Now I'm here. I'm happy for it. Like you define your past every moment. You know what I mean? So like I use it to like build. I use it.
Moving on.
Yeah, I used it to like lift me up. It's the beginning of a great story. You know. I'm not gonna let it destroy me. You know what I mean? Yeah. What do you see right now? This exact second. What are you doing?
Shopping.
Shopping.
Perfect for
Come get coffee with
bracelets.
us.
What?
Come get coffee with us. We'll go to Starbucks.
I would, but we need to meet up with our friends.
Oh.
Two minor things. Obviously, going very well, I love the self-amusement. Self-amusement's really good. First one is obviously the like wrestling for food in an orphanage thing is fucking hilarious. But that said, at a certain moment, you need to kind of gauge like if it's breaking trust or not, right? And if it is breaking a lot of trust, you can be like, I'm just kidding, and then back off and go normal again, and then go to that kind of stuff some more. Because if what you're doing, I know, and I understand, like you're just mostly just self-amusing anyway. It wasn't like super intentful, but looking at it in the context of like trying to be effective, you do need to just have that realness and that connection, that grounding at some point. But from an emotional standpoint, it's all really good. And from a who has value in this standpoint, oh, you're like just, you're way, way, way above. So that's all really, really excellent. The other minor thing I would say is the way you went for the close was very abrupt. And so you set yourself up because you went for the close. I mean, by all means, you definitely should be thinking close here or should be thinking venue change because she does seem to really like you. The one thing, again, that I would worry about before doing that is the other friend because that's going to be a factor. So I would have tried to get her on board a little bit more first. But the timing makes sense. The problem is the close was very all at once and very specific, right? And so when you make something all at once specific and out of the blue, if there is any objection, you're going to get it, right? And when you get the objection, it's going to be an objection to the whole package as opposed to an objection to whatever part of it, so you won't know what you're solving, right? Whereas if you bring it up in increments, like close little by little, you're going to find out where you're at, right? So you say, what are you doing right this exact second? She says, no. And you'll be like, okay, well, I don't know, I don't have that long, but maybe, right? When you say something like that, you're gonna find out very quickly if she's like, oh, no, like in half an hour we are doing this other thing. So you'll find that out without having to be like, let's do this and hearing no. Does that make sense? Right. And that way, if you haven't heard the no, then going for like a number and follow-up makes more sense and is easier than if you had heard no. And also if you find out what the nature, like she says, oh, we have this thing, oh, that's interesting. Well, what exactly is that? You find out the details of it. You're like, oh, okay, so that's cool. So that's for a couple hours, and then you're free after that. She's like, oh yeah, we're free after. And then you know the specific plans. So try and be a little bit more, I want to say just smarter about how you close, but it's more like structuring the close in such a way that you get yeses along the way, and also that you get the proper information to close in the right way. Because right now what you're doing is you're closing without any information. Right? You're just like kind of like, this is a decent close, let me just throw it out and hope it works. As opposed to like, I can say this and I'll get the information. I say this and I'll get the information, and now I know the exact situation or the exact perfect way to close. And I am a big fan, by the way, of closing early. Like I do think that closing now, or maybe closing in like 20 to 30 seconds once and the friend are on slightly better terms, I think it's the right time. I definitely agree with that. So I definitely am not a guy that says you have to have every single thing in place before attempting a close. But I would say, like, at any given moment, try and attempt to close in the smartest way you can. Right. And if you get objections, deal with them. But don't try to get objections. Does that make sense? All right. However, in terms of building value and just saying objectionable things and getting a reaction, there are certain times for that, for sure. For sure.
Us too.
Are you guys
perfect? I'll take like 5 minutes.
Are you guys going in tonight?
Yeah, we're gonna go to strip club probably.
Nice.
Yeah. There's a midget strip club in town.
They have like midget
There's
wrestling.
not.
Yeah.
At Hustler, they have something called midget wrestling, so it'd be perfect for you guys.
Like pure entertainment.
Yeah,
It's
for the
like
most part.
real midgets.
It's
like
crazy
that.
because
Yeah,
like
you could probably wrestle one of them actually.
Yeah.
Crowd-
yeah, you can get you an application.
Yeah.
You can be gargantua, like a normal sized woman, you know what I mean? That just like stomps through the little crowd of midgets. Like it's like a David and Goliath midget like scene, you know? It's like a little so you might have to take a dive for the sake of the story, but
Seriously.
that's funny. I like how you guys just like stand here and like elicit the creative spark in me, you know what I'm saying? Like it's perfect. We have a great relationship going, you know? Yeah. You can just be the canvas to like my art, you know? It's perfect.
That was a horrible analogy.
You guys should come out tonight.
We are. We're going to Omnia.
Omnia on Sunday sucks.
Yeah.
That's in there.
Sucks.
But midget wrestling is better.
No, we're going to XS
How
Night
can you
Swim.
even argue that?
XS Night Swim. It's gonna be awesome. XS.
Yeah, but
It's like they open up the whole
whereabouts?
pool area. It's like in the Wynn. You know where the Wynn is? Yeah. Where are you staying? Jinx. You owe me soda. That's stupid. Where are you from? The Midwest or what? Okay, cool.
No, we're staying at Harris.
Harris. That's right by us.
So when you said like, when you tried to make the plans early, what was her actual, did she say she had something to do soon, or what was the actual objection? I forget what it was, or I didn't hear it. We have to shop? That was her objection? So we have to shop is like, that is kind of an objection, but it's like, it really, like it's a shopping emergency, really? Right? Come on. That's one you could work through for like, hey, you know what? I understand. Like we're meeting our friends and shopping too. Let's just grab something really fast first. Some of you guys that have been here like a long time or for months, or the coaches have seen the 2 girls in Miami with me and Julian. The girl says that we really need to shop. I'm like, what is this, like a shopping emergency? It's like a 911 situation. If we don't shop, like the fate of the free world will like fall under a bus. And I'm like, you know, actually they made that movie. This is coming out next month. Somebody didn't shop and then aliens came and took over the world. I understand where you're coming from, right? So yeah, I mean, you can make fun of that kind of stuff for sure. Point though is like, yeah, they kind of are in the middle of something, but that's the kind of thing that can be overcome. If they like you enough, they'll come see you instead. So I'd still be thinking about closing, but I'd be thinking about like soft close it. Like close for like, oh, real fast, we're going over here. Come with us for a second and then we'll let you get to your shopping.
Where are you staying? Don't ever stay there.
We live like right next to the Harris.
Really?
And yeah, it's like off of Mingo and Cobalt.
Yeah, our hotel's bad. Yeah, it's bad. Like the hotel's fine. The pool, bad.
What's wrong with the pool?
It's
Like tampons and
70
diapers floating in it?
It's like old people, just like old wrinkly
Ew,
people.
disgusting. Why don't they die? You know what I mean? Like, we just
They're like
fucking.
70 plus. Like, yeah. Like it's cute, but it's like, okay, this is
Just see everything as an opportunity. This is a time for you to like network with some old people, maybe make one fall in love with you, and then like take all his money when he dies in a couple years. Like, that's a good strategy.
We're trying that, but they're all like that, so. Yeah. Their wives are here. I feel like they could beat me up or something.
My buddy actually, our buddy like was hooking up with this girl in the hot tub. Well, okay, it was two old people, right? An old couple, like 70 years old, and then him and this girl. And then him and this girl started making out to old people, and they started like hooking up, you know. And the old people are.
How did they do that?
And,
just tell
and the old people just started having sex too, like just like that. There's no emotion in the hips by themselves. It's like the whole body, you know.
Like a penguin.
It's stiff as fuck. You are pretty jacked when I think about it.
Yeah.
Damn. What do you wrestle? 185s?
53.
53.
Yes, that's 23 plus.
That's like 170. What is that in pounds?
Are you from Canada?
70 pounds.
Uh,
Does it? I think that's like, it's like 115, 117. Yeah, 2.2 pounds.
if you lift him off the ground, I'll give you $1.
So you do a really good job of like being high value and making fun of the girl. So that's awesome. That's something that like everybody in this room could probably learn from. That's really good. Just high value and definitely like making the girl chase you more than you're chasing her. What I would suggest for you is to take all that value that you're getting and actually turn it into something, right? Because it's kind of like you have this like latent floating value in the set. But once you get to a certain level, it's like the set kind of like stagnates and you're not going anywhere with it. You're not creating more with it. Because it's like, what would more value really even do for you? More value would kind of almost make you untrustworthy at this point, all right? Exactly, and it just more value at this point would mean just like you're just fucking around with them, not even taking them seriously. So what I would suggest is when you have that much value, start trying to use some of it to connect a little bit. So suggesting plans that you could do right now is good, but suggesting plans in general and the idea of you guys together in general is probably better because it's less outcome seeking. And what I'm going to suggest in general as an exercise for you is once you know you have a lot of value in the set, start using the word we. Instead of, because right now it's like, I'm this, you're that, I'm this, you're that. As soon as you implement the word we, oh, we're gonna get together, we're gonna do this, we're gonna that, or we can't this, or we shouldn't that, those kind of things. Now you're implying a relationship. And as soon as they start talking along those frames, which they're going to because you have high value and they're enjoying the conversation, now they're acknowledging the idea that you have a relationship as well. And that connection is going to start to just become established throughout the interaction, right? So take all the value you're creating and turn it into something as a tangible connection, right? So for you, the manifestation, the exercise kind of is like when you go out tonight and you can tell the girl's reacting to you, start dropping the we word in.
Just suck her into the frame of like she's your girlfriend for the next like 30 seconds.
Yeah, Tim used to call it like the bubble of love.
Yeah, right.
It's like it's the two of you, bubble of love, everything else in the world can fuck off. Who cares? Because this is what's really important. Right. But that'll turn you from being that guy that's just fucking with them and is cool to the guy they're really connecting with.
And qualify more too, or no?
Qualify more is good. You want to qualify and disqualify, but yeah, definitely qualifying is good. Qualifying is a great lead into a we frame or to a connected frame, for sure. For sure. Be careful when you say qualify though. If you're trying to force qualify them, like make them jump through your hoops, that's good to a point. But if you do too much of it, it's just going to be more of that like value with no connection type stuff. You have to like let them win sometimes too.
Oh, sure, definitely. Yeah, that would be easy.
well, like, and
I'm like-
trap him. Trap
I'm really
his arm
dense,
and like
though,
plant it
so I
on
don't know
his
if that'll
head.
happen.
He's grounded.
I have like the density of a dying sun.
He's grounded in his energy.
I could like easily like piggyback him.
No, he does like
Really?
he does this
I don't
crazy
know.
like Kriya yoga meditation thing where he like is grounded to the ground right now. You can't think of that.
Yeah,
No.
that's true.
No.
I'm not even willing to test the theory.
I just don't like want to like go on my back or something.
Oh,
How
dang.
old are you?
Are you calling me
Yeah,
fat?
seriously.
Well, you like psyched me out with this like grounding fake yoga stuff, so
Yoga's so fake. You're right.
yoga's not
Do you even
fake, I
meditate,
do.
bro? Do you even meditate, bro?
No, I do.
What are you guys up to right now? Like, out there.
They're waiting for you.
We're going shopping. They're like, so then they just like, yeah.
Are they gambling?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm hungry.
Are you Italian?
Yes.
Too.
No. Yeah, I know. Can't you tell? Like, like the most olive person.
Mostly
out
by the
there.
attitude, I feel like. Mostly
Yeah.
that. Like you look like you can handle your shit if you had to.
Yeah, I guess so. Got 3 other brothers too. Yeah.
Every time you close, you want to close on new information and for a new thing. Does that make sense? Yeah. It's like, this is actually something that I kind of innately knew from pickup, but I heard it explicitly said in sales, which is like, say that someone asks you to buy something, you're like, no, I'm not so sure. right? And then they just wait for you, talk a little bit longer, like, no, but really buy it. And they talk some more like, no, but you should buy it, right? At some point, they're just being pushy, right? But what you want to do in like a good sales process is you ask for the order, because you need to ask lots and lots of times. They say, oh no, I'm not so sure, et cetera. Be like, okay, that's totally fine. Let me show you this other thing. And then you present some new information, some new features, and then you close again in a different way. So the first time you're maybe like, oh, do you want to get that? The next time you're like, okay, so can you see how like that would be something that would be helpful for a lot of people, right? And then they say, yeah. Like, do you think that's like, something that maybe to a certain extent would be helpful for you in this way and that way? They're like, yeah. And then you're like, okay, cool. So do you want to, you know what I mean? So you do it in a different way. So new information, because if you attempt to close and they say no, and then you just attempt to close again, in order for them to go with that, they have to basically admit they were wrong. They'd be like, sorry, I was an idiot before. I give in, right? But if there's new information or a new option presented to them, then they can go with it without, having to admit they were wrong, right? And it's even to the point where, say if I'm asking a girl to come with me for something, like say I'm asking her to go come grab a coffee with me maybe, and she doesn't do it, then next time I'm not gonna ask her for a coffee, I'm gonna be like, ask her for a smoothie. Or say there's this really cool view over here, or there's this art gallery we should check out, or whatever, right? You come up with a new thing to close for, just so again, she doesn't have to admit she was wrong and you're closing on new information. So just closing again, because it's been a period of time, I don't think is a good solution. But closing again once it's been some time and you've presented enough new information that it plausibly makes sense, is a good solution.
Oh, really? All the same height?
No, 12. That's his Italian jeans, his Italian shorts. But yeah, maybe we'll see you guys out tonight if you can come down.
Yeah, for sure. Put your number in my phone. How long are you guys in town for?
We're staying till Tuesday.
Until Tuesday?
Yeah.
You send me up and go out.
Are you guys here with like a
We go tonight, so it's gonna be.
Really.
You too?
I mean, Omni is cool. I've never been there on Sunday, honestly.
They're one of the guys that wrestles, and then
But night swim is like the best party in Vegas.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were doing yesterday.
It's like a family affair.
That's like oversell it.
No, like.
But you gotta wear.
We came at
We're all wearing matching swimsuits.
My hair's flew in yesterday.
We're wearing matching onesies, so with the American flag on them and shit.
Okay, maybe we should wear our matching ones.
We have extras. I'll pick some up from the midget strip club. We can.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, that's great.
Yes, super wild.
Oh, wow.
That's sexist? What is that?
That's
She's coming out here this week.
yeah.
Because I live here, so.
Big thing here is make sure that you actually do build some connection, because you are even now like fucking around a lot. So she likes you, but there's just not a lot of trust there. It doesn't even have to be right as you're getting the number, but at some point before she leaves, just like take a breath, relax, drop the gaminess for a minute, and just try and have 30 seconds, a minute of like real, genuine get to know you connection. You can even be like, you know what, I know I fuck around a lot, but I actually am curious about you. Tell me something, qualify her a little bit, something like that. Something so that you have just that moment of realness and moment of seriousness, because she clearly likes you, clearly is reacting to you, clearly finds you attractive, but she also probably feels like you're like some crazy guy who does this to, like, talks like this to all the girls, who is just fucking around and not serious, that kind of stuff, right? So she doesn't feel deeply connected to you because she's not going to allow herself to.
But like people forget that. It's like there's a reason.
I've been up
Like northern countries evolved to like oppress like.
That's what I hope when I move to
countries under
London.
the hemisphere, if that makes sense.
Have
Like,
you looked up the age?
subtropical
Everybody
communities,
says it.
because like we had to invent technology just to survive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so fucking cool. You can't just like go outside naked outside of your mud hut and just like eat pineapple and fuck all day and like
That'd be
and
sweet,
be
though.
okay.
I
Yeah.
don't accept that either.
It's like comfort
They say,
versus
like,
growth.
fake.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You got to pick one or the other. So.
Milk or
So yeah, white Norwegian people. It's like
yeah.
invent some steel armor and shit.
I had a roommate that
Murder
was
us
from
all,
Vancouver,
you know?
Yeah.
and he lives in Toronto.
So you have kind of like the opposite issue to like everybody else we looked at. Everybody else we looked at yesterday and today is kind of, they're too much trying to get into the girls' world. They're asking too many questions. They're not providing enough of their personality. You're providing tons of your personality. Like, amazing, right? She knows who you are. She knows what you're about. She knows your vibe. But what do you actually, besides that she wrestles? Like, you know that she wrestles, which is cool. Besides that, what do you actually know about her? There's not a lot of plausible reason why you like her. So you should be, again, trying to actually manufacture that connection, right? Find things you can like about her. Get her to talk about herself. Get her to open up a bit. Because right now, she's enjoying it, and she's even probably attracted, turned on by it. But she's essentially just watching the show. She's not participating. Yeah, it's like you're almost trying to like hook all the way to the bedroom or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, you wrestled at university.
Yes.
Yeah, badass. Have you stopped or what?
No, I still wrestle.
Oh, you still wrestle?
Yes.
For a club or for like national team or what?
University. I was on
Oh,
the
you're on
national team like a
university.
few years ago, but haven't been back on since.
They caught you with cocaine and they threw you out.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
Cocaine only stays
So is it like
in the
a
system
big
for
tournament?
those things.
Big tournament here?
Oh, yeah.
I like that. Good response.
Is it like
You're so gangster. I didn't realize.
You were joking around at the start. You said like not a lot of intent. Funny enough, there actually is a decent amount of intent, but there's not direct intent. There's not like I like you or we should do this, we shouldn't do that kind of intent. So you're not getting to like high crazy levels of intent. But there actually is a lot of intent because like joking around is intentful, like teasing is intentful. It's not a bland conversation. So there is a bit of intent. But you're right, it's not explicit, it's like implicit intent. Right. So that's another way you could develop that connection is to make that implicitness of intent, just make it a little explicit. So that wouldn't hurt either.
You're so
I
fun.
don't do cocaine.
You're so fun.
Like all the time.
You're cool. All right, I'll let you guys get back to shopping.
All the time.
Nice to meet
Every
you.
country. Yeah, nice to meet you.
Wow, we got to meet our friends. So stop wasting all that fucking time.
yeah. So basically, we
Give me a
don't
side hug.
know who
Awkward
not to
side
fight,
hug.
basically.
Oh, that's not a side hug anymore.
Front hug. Oh my god.
No, it's not.
Oh my god. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
We'll see you guys
Oh,
tonight.
she doesn't get a side hug. Like, nice to meet you.
Awkward side hug. Oh, so awkward.
And minor note, probably you don't want to end a pretty decent set with like your last words being, oh, it's so awkward on a cold approach situation. Just the wrong idea to plant in their head. But yeah, overall good set. But yeah, really focus on that connection because that was the thing that was missing there.